Damn phones, Babylons can't crack the code.
When many people talk about who is the best conference in all of college football, the first team that comes to many people's mind is the SEC, and rightfully so, since they have a lot of dominant teams and top teams in college football currently. Now this is B. Kelly back again with another banger video. In today's video, y'all, I am going to be talking about what happened to the top 5 all-time SEC recruits. Now before I move on with the video, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, as we are on the road to 10K. Now let's get into it. Coming in at number 5 of all-time SEC recruits, we have running back from the 2014 recruiting class, Leonard Fournette. Now in this class, he was a 5-star recruit and the #1 player in the nation, and he would end up choosing LSU as his next destination. Leonard Fournette at LSU was a star right off the bat. As a true freshman, he rushed for over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns on the season, while averaging a very impressive 5.5 yards per carry. He would end up playing at LSU for a total of 3 years, and he had a great career where he rushed for 3,830 yards, averaging 6 yards per carry, and 41 total touchdowns on the ground. Not to mention, he was a 2015 consensus All-American, first team All-SEC in 2015, and second team All-SEC in 2016. After his junior campaign in 2016, he would forgo his final year of eligibility at LSU and declare his name for the 2017 NFL Draft, where he was a top 5 pick, selected with the 4th overall pick in the first round by Jacksonville. Fournette so far in his NFL career has played in the NFL for a total of 4 seasons on 2 different teams. He played 3 years in Jacksonville and 1 year in Tampa Bay in 2020, in which he won the Super Bowl as a member of the Buccaneers football team. Now, in Jacksonville, he did have 2,000-yard seasons in his 3-year tenure while he was there, but his best season in the NFL so far was when he was a rookie, where in 13 games played, he rushed for 1,040 yards and had 9 touchdowns on the ground, averaging 4 yards per carry. In his career so far, he has rushed for 2,998 yards, 23 total touchdowns on the ground, and an average of 3.9 yards per carry. Coming up at number 4 for all-time SEC recruits is quarterback from the 2018 recruiting class in Justin Fields. Now in this recruiting class, he ranked as the #2 player in the nation and the #2 quarterback, just behind Justin Fields. And for his next choice of school, he would choose the in-state school of Georgia. Justin Fields would only play 1 season at Georgia in the 2018 season as a true freshman, where he was a backup quarterback to Jake Fromm, as he would end up playing in 12 games, and he played pretty well, completing 69% of his passes, thrown for 328 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions, while rushing for 266 yards, averaging 4 yards per carry, and 4 total touchdowns on the ground. After this season, however, he would end up transferring to The Ohio State. In his sophomore campaign as a Buckeye in 2019, he broke out and became a star, as in 14 games played, he completed 67% of his passes, threw for 3,273 yards, 41 touchdowns, and only 3 interceptions. Not to mention, on the ground, he had 10 rushing touchdowns as well. As a junior in 2020, he only played in 8 games due to a shortened season, and still played very good, as he completed 70% of his passes, threw for 2,100 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions, while accounting for 5 touchdowns on the ground. In his career as a Buckeye, he made 2 Big Ten first teams, and he was a 2-time Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. To nobody's surprise, he would not come back for a final year of eligibility at Ohio State, and he declared his name for the 2021 NFL Draft, where he was taken in the first round 11th overall selection by the Chicago Bears. And currently right now, Justin Fields is battling for the starting spot for the Bears with Andy Dalton. Next up at number 3, we have wide receiver from the 2012 recruiting class, Dorial Green-Beckham, and he was the #1 player in this class, and he decided to stay close to home and go to Mizzou. Dorial Green-Beckham would end up playing 2 seasons at Mizzou, and those would be the 2 seasons he played at the college level, as he would be dismissed right after his second season at Mizzou and transferred to the University of Oklahoma, where he didn't have immediate eligibility, then declare for the NFL Draft thereafter. Now, in his career, he would have 1,278 receiving yards, averaging 15 yards per reception, and 17 total touchdowns. His biggest season in college football came as a true sophomore in 2013 with Mizzou, as he played in 14 games, had 59 receptions for 883 yards, averaging an impressive 15 yards per reception, and a total of 12 touchdowns through the air. He would also make second-team All-SEC this season, and as I mentioned a little earlier, he would end up being dismissed from the team after this season and transferring to OU, where he didn't get immediate eligibility but still declared for the 2015 NFL Draft, as he was still viewed as a top wide receiver in that draft class. In the 2015 NFL Draft, he was taken early in the second round by the Tennessee Titans. In his rookie season in Tennessee, his only season he was there in 2015, you would look at his numbers and say he had a solid season, even though he didn't really meet all of his expectations that were given to him, as he did have 32 receptions for 549 yards, 17 yards per reception, and 4 touchdowns. The big eye-popping stat is that he caught less than 50% of the balls thrown his way. Going into 2016, he was traded to Philadelphia, where he was not much better, as in 15 games played, starting in 7 of them, he had 36 receptions for 392 yards, averaging 11 yards per reception and 2 touchdowns, and the catch percentage was still below 50%. He would end up getting waived after this season and has not played in the NFL since 2016. Coming up at number 2, we have defensive lineman from the 2013 recruiting class in Robert Nkemdiche, who ranked as the number 1 player in the nation, and when it came down for him to make a decision out of all of his offers, he would end up choosing Ole Miss. Nkemdiche would end up spending a total of 3 seasons at Ole Miss, racking up a total of 81 career tackles, 16 tackles for loss, and 6 sacks during his career as a Rebel. His best season came in his junior year, where he had 26 total tackles, 7 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks. In that season as well, he was a second-team All-American and first-team All-SEC. After a stellar junior campaign, he would end up declaring for the 2016 NFL Draft, where he was taken in the first round, 29th overall selection by the Arizona Cardinals. Robert Nkemdiche's NFL career has not gone the way that many people thought it would go, as he struggled with injury issues all throughout the 4 seasons he's played in the NFL so far, both with the Arizona Cardinals and Miami Dolphins. In his career, he's had a total of 44 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 touchdown while playing in 4 seasons in the NFL. His best season came in his final year in Arizona, where he started in 6 of the 10 games he played in and had 32 total tackles, 9 for loss, and 4.5 sacks on the season. But injury issues have been his biggest issue while being in the league, and he would end up getting released by the Miami Dolphins after getting injured just after playing 2 games. He's been out of the NFL since 2019, but was recently picked up by the Seattle Seahawks going into 2021, and he's currently fighting for a roster spot. The number 1 ranked all-time SEC recruit comes from the 2011 recruiting class, and he is the highest rated recruit according to 24/7 Sports, and that is none other than Jadeveon Clowney, who would end up going to South Carolina. Jadeveon Clowney would end up playing a total of 3 seasons as a Gamecock at South Carolina, and he had a great career. As in 3 seasons, he had 129 total tackles, 47 tackles for loss, 24 sacks, 7 pass deflections, 1 fumble recovery, and 9 forced fumbles in only 3 seasons. His biggest season came as a sophomore in 2012, where he had 54 total tackles, 23.5 tackles for loss, 13 sacks, 2 pass deflections, 1 fumble recovery, and 3 forced fumbles. In his college career as well, he was a 2-time first-team All-American in 2012 and 2013, 2-time first-team All-SEC in 2012 and 2013, SEC Defensive Player of the Year in 2012, and Ted Hendricks Award winner in 2012 as well. He also made All-SEC second team in 2011. As the 2014 NFL Draft came by, Jadeveon Clowney was seen as a top player in the draft, and he was taken first overall in the first round by the Houston Texans. Jadeveon Clowney has played in the NFL for a total of 7 7 seasons, 5 with the Houston Texans, 1 with Seattle, and 1 with Tennessee. And going into his 8th season, he is going to be playing for the Cleveland Browns. Now, Jadeveon Clowney is seen as one of the better defensive linemen in all of the NFL right now, as he is a very good player, especially when healthy. He has faced some injury issues during his career, but he's still a good player. In his career so far, he has 255 total tackles, 75 tackles for loss, 32 sacks, 8 fumble recoveries, 10 forced fumbles, and 1 interception in his career. He's also made 2 Pro Bowl appearances. Well guys, if you made it this far in the video, leave some video suggestions for the future in the comments below. Remember to smash that like button, turn on them post notifications, and subscribe for more videos. B. Kelly, out.